Hi, and welcome to Dramatic Knits. My name is Steve, also known as Dramatic Knits, and today is Sunday, September 27th, 2015. This is episode 226. If you're a returning viewer, thanks for coming back one more week. And if you're a new viewer, hopefully you enjoyed today's show and you'll come back in the future. If you're one of my students, maybe you'll learn something today. Stick around. So, this past week in review, it seems that students in my school have found my podcast. And if you're watching, I'm going to now start inserting English and grammar lessons into the podcast, just so you get a little added education. I'm just kidding. Or am I? Anyway, so that's been the big news in my school, and it hasn't died down this week. It is what it is. I knew that would happen once I put the podcast up on YouTube a couple months ago, and lo and behold. So, I've been dealing with a lot of questions and inquiries and occasional not-so-nice comment on YouTube, which I can quickly and very easily take down and report. So, but that's neither here nor there. So, how's your week been? Hopefully pretty good. Mine's been outrageously busy. It's not looking like it's going to die down anytime soon, but for the most part, it's a good busy. So, as you can see, Callie is not here with me. It's actually decently early in the morning. It's a little before 9:30 this morning. We had set plans to record, and she overslept, and unfortunately, I can't rearrange my schedule to accommodate today. So, I'm going to be meeting up with my mom and sister and two of our family friends who are in from out of town, and we'll be going down to the Apple and Pork Festival, which is a big event here in our town this weekend. So it was relatively busy yesterday, and I really didn't even go out. So be exciting. I'm excited to get some fair food, some cheese fries, and some homemade donuts, and caramel-covered apple slices, and just walking around. Don't know how long I'll stay out there, but gotta remember to put some sunscreen on this dome, though. Anyway, so we're doing that, and then I've gotta come home and do some stuff and do some dyeing and finish laundry, and I think we are going to a family restaurant for dinner before our friends leave and my sister goes back to college. Big news, she got a brand new car this week on Thursday night, so that's awesome. At 20, she bought her own car, and it's brand new. It's a Ford Fiesta. I was a little jealous. It's got a lot of the bells and whistles that I just got with my truck, but you know what? She did it on her own. She's paying for it, so good for her. I'm proud of her. So, that's that. And then, yeah. So, what else has been going on? I had a full week of teaching. It was long. It was tedious dealing with, teenagers. But it's good. My kids are beginning to write their essays, their first major essays for me this year. So, instead of watching me, maybe you should be working on your essay. Anyway. Sorry, I can't drop it. What else? Yesterday, I went in for an exam at my dentist, which I have not been to for a very long time. In fact, over 4 years. And they recommended for me last time that I get a deep cleaning, and I did not want to pay for it. Did not have the money to pay for it, because a lot of it was out-of-pocket cost, and was honestly scared of it. I hate the dentist. I hate everything about it. I got nervous just going in to get x-rays and get an exam done yesterday. Needless to say, I still need to get the deep cleaning, so thankfully, thanks to you guys and everybody else who supports Leading Men Fiber Arts, we have the money to pay for it now. So I'm actually getting that done in the middle of this month, plus I have to get 2 small cavities filled, and I'm getting my teeth bleached, so get some pearly whites going on, hopefully. So I have a lot of dental work happening this month on top of a show every weekend, so that's exciting. I'm not really excited about this whole deep cleaning process. We'll see how it goes. So I'm a big old wuss when it comes to that. What else? Let me take a sip of coffee. I got all ready to record, sat down, and realized I did not brew myself any coffee this morning. I've been waiting for the podcast, so I had to go down, brew myself a cup, my ZK mug from last year. And I think today's flavor is... I think it's the brown sugar crumbled donut. But I also use Heath Bar creamer, so, yeah. Oh, good, good, good. So I think that's pretty much it this week. It's just, I've not done a lot of crafting. I barely got something done on every one of my projects, but not a whole lot on any one thing. And unfortunately, due to the late notice of Callie telling me she couldn't make it, I didn't have time to prep a review for a magazine or anything. You can see the Dories running around in the background. It's been relatively quiet here this morning, and I've been packing orders and whatnot, so they're like, ooh, talking, noise. Anyway, let's get to business, shall we? Before I forget, there will be no show next weekend. We will be vending at Vogue Knitting Live Chicago, which is from Friday night through Sunday, so don't really have a time to record. And I doubt I will record anything at the hotel one of the nights, even though we are staying at the Palmer Hilton House Hotel, which is where the event is being located. So if you're in the area, come check us out. We're in booth 212. The no show next week, and then the following week we will be recording on Saturday because I have a show on Sunday. So, alright. What did I finish this week? What's taking a bow? Nothing. Moving right along. What's performing this week? The first thing is The Portage by Melissa Shishwari. I'm using Elizabeth Lebold Silky Wool in color number 65, which is spruce. And I wound up the third ball, but I have not joined it yet. I still have that much left. I did a decent amount of this while Andy and I were catching up on the Great British Baking Show. So, from the Dicky Doo above, this is my sweater for our sweater knit along. I got a decent amount, maybe 8 rows or so. 6 or 8 rows. Not a whole lot, but it's going. So, that's that, and that's on sizes. I'm on size 7 right now, which is a 4.5 millimeter. It calls for other needles, but I haven't used them yet, so. The next thing is Polyphony by Sarah Berghart Abram. I'm using Leading Men Fiber Arts Show Stealer in the Copper Cloud, Midnight Rendezvous, and Eternal Kiss colorways. And, again, very little. Like, I think I worked on this while watching the Knit Girls, and that was it. So, you can see there. It's growing, but I still have a decent amount of yarn left to go before I can pick up. And that's on size something. 5, I want to say. Yep, 5, 3.75 millimeters. So obviously that's not going to be done as a shop sample for Vogue, but that's okay. She's going to have a new shawl pattern premiering at Vogue with our yarn, so that's exciting. The next thing is my Geology shawl. I'm using Madeline Tosh Merino Light in the Fog colorway. And I finished the section that I've been working on for forever and started the last, or second to last section. And so you can see here, sorry, I got the blinds actually drawn because it's that bright, the sun shining in at this point in the day. So you can see here the stockinette, the seed stitch, the lace, then you have this kind of zigzagging motif, and then we've got some specialty stitch down here. It's a purl, you do it on the purl back row, and you purl 3 together, leave it on the needle, yarn over, and then purl 3 together again. So, I don't know what stitch that is, but that's what I'm doing right now. And in fact, this particular section says that if you have more yarn, you can do another section of the repeat, or another repeat. And I'm like, the pattern calls for 1 skein of Madeline Tosh Merino Light, but I have this much yarn left, and this small of a shawl, and there's only one 10-row section at the end. So I'm going to weigh it after I finish this section and guesstimate. But part of me is like, don't chance it, just do it. If you have leftovers, you have leftovers. So that I can also move on to something else, but I don't know. We'll see. The next thing is Mix It Up by Jana Huck. I'm using local alpaca that's been mill-spun to a fingering weight. One color is a natural white. The other one we dyed to our blue steel colorway. And I got like 8 rows down on this. And some of those are short rows yesterday. So you can see from the Diggy-Doo. I did not pick this up until last night. So it's going. And this is on a size 3 US, which is a 3.25. Yep. The last thing I'm working on are my A River Runs Through It socks. I'm using Lollipop Yarn. Lollipop Yarns Tradition Base in the A River Runs Through It colorway. And last week I showed you I had a hoe, a half object. And I did cast on and I got through the ribbing and started the stocking out of the second sock. So again, I had a lot of grading to do this week, so not a lot of knitting, but I have been working on these as I'm balling up yarn to make gradients and rescanning. I can get, across a needle in that time. So that's that. So that's all that I'm working on this week. A very little bit on a lot of different things. So what's in rehearsal for me? Nothing. Like I said, I'll be working on my sock blank boomerang, hopefully finishing that at Vogue and probably picking up another sock blank to make a pair of socks so that I can have one unblocked and one blocked as a shop sample eventually. So my spinning. I did finish some spinning, which is awesome because I'm going to be seeing Carla this weekend at Vogue, so I wanted to make sure I had a skein ready to go. I finished the Into the World BFL in the Don't Blink colorway, and I got 338 yards of a sport weight, and it's a 2-ply fractal spun. And I'm really happy with it. This has not been washed or cracked yet, so it's not been filled out in all its beautimous glory, but I knew I was not going to have time because I wound this off last night, so that's done. And so I used my random number generator out of my stash, and it picked for me some Highland Handmaids Superwash Merino, 40% Superwash Merino, 40% regular Merino, 20% silk in the 10,000 Leagues Under the Sea colorway. And I got a little bit of, need to just take it off there. I've got some felting going on here. Unfortunately, that's not her issue, that's mine. That is due to the way I store my fiber and it being rubbed back and forth. So it's just on the end there, but it is a very beautiful green and blue and gold colorway. And I do love this blend. The Superwash Merino Silk is a very lovely blend. I've spun this several times from her, and I think from other vendors as well. But I haven't really seen it where I purchase my fiber, so would be a good one to look into to get in the shop. But we have a lot of fiber bases. In fact, we added some more, and there's some more that I have waiting to be dyed that, yeah, only so much time in the day. So that's going to be on the wheel here very soon. Moving into In the Spotlight, what am I watching and reading? I did catch up on The Strain, so that was good. That's on FX. It's vampires, kind of plague vampire type thing, based off of a graphic novel, kind of like The Walking Dead, but completely, it has its own storyline and very different, not zombies, like vampire, alien, zombie things. It's weird. But it's decent. And the only other thing is, Andy and I caught up on 2 weeks of the Great British Baking Show. That'll be on again tonight. Hopefully we'll be able to catch up on that, but who knows? We get caught up with work and whatnot. So that's on PBS, so definitely check that out. Sorry, Corndog is eating something underneath my feet, and I have no idea what he is eating.
Oh.
He found a bottle cap. Those are tasty, don't you know? Anyway, what am I reading? Let me tell you what I finished reading this week. Let me tell you, this whole listening to audiobooks for my hour-plus commute back and forth between work, getting me caught up on things. Plus, being able to read during work, 10 minutes of class period during SSR, has been helping as well. So, I finished Cause of Death by Patricia Cornwell. I feel like the book with a whole lot of build-up for, like, at least in the audiobook, 20 minutes of action at the end. Was not my favorite. I enjoyed her other book from Potter's Field that I've read. A little bit better than this one, but it is what it is. I also finished The Magic Cottage by James Herbert. Again, a lot of build-up for some action at the end that seemed to come out of nowhere. It was alright. So what am I reading? I'm still listening to The Good, the Bad, and the Undead by Kim Harrison. Just kind of going along for the ride while I'm spinning. I'm listening to and From Work, Double Cross by James Patterson. I will be done with that probably in the next day or two, so we'll see what I choose to listen to next. I actually really enjoy this book. I like James Patterson, I'm not going to lie. I'm an English teacher. I understand it's not high art. It's not fantabulous literature. I really enjoyed the two narrators that are in this particular audiobook. One of them is very, very good. The guy who reads for Alex Cross, who is kind of the main character through most of this particular series by James Patterson, I think he's pretty good, but the evildoer, the villain, the narrator for those particular roles is very, very good. So, I have reactions to it while listening to it on the way to work. They describe some gruesome murder or things like that, and I'm like, ooh, So I actually really enjoyed Double Cross. So I'll let you know my final thoughts on that next week. The last thing I'm reading is what I started reading through SSR in my classroom, and I just picked it up Friday. I read like 10 pages of it, but we had library time on Tuesday where I took my classes up to the library for them to renew and check out books. And I said, well, I need a new book for SSR. I should probably start reading some YA, some young adult, while I'm at school. Not my pleasure reading, but, kind of is. But I'm still reading and getting background knowledge in books that my kids are reading. So I noticed that they actually had this book in my library. And I was like, oh, I had started listening to the audiobook before, and I didn't have the time. I didn't know when to listen to it like I do now. So I actually picked up the book and I started reading it. It's thanks to Laura of the Knit Girls. She talks about this as being one of her favorite books, and it has what she thinks is the best opening line in a book, and that is The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. So I do think it has a very good hook of a first line, and it's kind of dark material, yet still YA, which is, from what I heard, this is my first Neil Gaiman book. He does very well. I noticed they had some other books of his in my library, like American Gods, I think that's the name of it, which I've heard good things about too. So we'll see if I pick that up or not. There's a lot of books I want to read that are on our Abe Lincoln nominees, which is a high school contest of the best books that come out that year. So our librarian did a presentation over those books this week. So I'm like, ooh, some of them sound really interesting. So we'll see what I can get my hands on next, but I'll let you know more as I read that. I do have some stash announcement. I got my October Three Waters Farm Top of the Month Club. And again, blown away. I just need to start spinning it. This month's fiber is 100% Falkland wool in the Maple Leaf Rag colorway. And it is gorgeous. Yep, they do it very well. So, I get to picture this and add that to my stash soon enough. So that'll be fun. So, enjoyed that. And I think that's pretty much it for in the spotlight. So let's move on to a round of applause. I do want to tell you that Bags by Awesome Granny on Etsy has a 10% coupon code good through 9/30, which is only a couple more days. You can use the coupon code DRAMATICKNITS10, the D and K are capitalized, and you can get 10% off your order through September 30th at Bags by Awesome Granny on Etsy. And you can find a link to her shop in our show notes, which can be found at dramaticknits.com. Thank you again to Darlene for that wonderful coupon code and for sponsoring the podcast. We do have a sweater knit along going on right now. So you have until October 31st to complete your sweater. Your sweater must have been started on or after July 1st, completed on or before October 31st. It must be an adult-sized sweater, it must have sleeves, and it must be classified as a sweater on Ravelry. If you have questions, you can always email Callie Callisters on Ravelry, and she can verify things for you. If you use any base of Leading Men Fiber Arts, you can post your finished object picture twice in the FO thread and get 2 entries into the drawing. You must post your picture in the FO thread to be eligible, and you must be a member of the group. Please also do post your picture in the chatter thread so people can compliment you and, give you a big pat on the back for doing a great job. And also so you can show, if there's any specialty techniques or different constructions that you've done and get some conversation going over there. So that's that. I do want to tell you to enter all your finished objects, no matter what you finished, in the month of September to the September 2015 Race to the Finished Object contest. We have 2 wonderful prizes. The first is from Front Range Bags. It's a wonderful chicken bag, but beautifully made and with some very awesome details on the inside, and I showed that earlier this month. The second prize is a pattern from our featured designer, who is Sarah Berghardt Ainbrum, and you get to pick any one of her giftable patterns through Ravelry. Next month, I will be closing and opening the October thread before I record again, because again, I will not be recording again until October 10th. But we will have again 2 wonderful prizes. We have a new featured designer, which I will talk more about when I record next. And we will have a new wonderful prize. What it will be, I don't know off the top of my head. We've got a box of some Yarny prizes that I'll be able to pull from for October. So, that is that. Alright, I'm going to move into center stage. If you leave me now, if you're not interested in anything regarding Leading Men Fiber Arts, I will see you in 2 weeks. But hopefully you'll stick with us. So, let's move into center stage. I do want to tell you that Delusional Knitter, who designed the Kirlin hat out of Leading Men Fiber Arts callback, has a coupon code for the Dramatic Knits viewers, and that's 50% off the pattern, good until September 30th, again, only a couple more days, and you can use the code Dramatic Knits, again, D and K are capitalized, and you get 50% off. So instead of $3, you will get the pattern for $1.50. So jump over there, and go take advantage of the coupon code. Alright, shows. What's going on? We're going to be at a different show every weekend in the month of October. So this upcoming weekend, we will be at Vogue Knitting Live Chicago at the Hilton House, Palmer Hilton House Hotel in Chicago, Illinois. So definitely check us out there. We'll be in booth 212. And then on the 11th of October, Sunday, we will be at Stash Market in Yorkville, Illinois. So definitely check us out there if you're in that area. And that's relative to the suburbs, so, if you feel like driving in, it's a Stash Market and a flea market as well, so. Then the following weekend, Saturday the 17th, we will be at Bishop Hill's annual spin-in, and, yeah, so check us out there. That'll be, somewhere just outside of, Peoria. Let me actually pull that up. Because I really want to know. It starts with an M. At the Mossville Middle School in Mossville, Illinois. So, excited about that, because we got another double booth there as well. And then the last weekend in October, we will be, or I should say the second to last weekend? right around there. The 24th and 25th, I believe, we will be at the Fiber Expo in Ann Arbor, Michigan. So if you're up there, compared to me, if you're up there, come check us out there. We're excited to be venturing up that way. So it's going to be a busy month. Busy, busy, busy. So those are my shows that are coming up. And I do want to tell you that we have a couple new retail locations that I had not mentioned. But if these stores are local or local-ish to you, you can now find our products at their stores. I have a couple more new ones lined up, which is really exciting. It kept us really busy. But I will tell you more about those once, their first shipments go out to them and they'll actually have product on hand. The first one is we have a new wholesale client in Canada. So if you're in the Vancouver area, Bad Anna's, and that's bad with 3 A's, is now holding our product. So you can check out yarn and fiber through them. They got a pretty big shipment. I know that they are, I think, at a special event coming up soon, Knit City or something to that effect. In which they will be bringing our yarn, so I'm really excited. I reposted a picture they gave me on Instagram of a beautiful setup they have of our yarn, so definitely check out Bad Anna's. Also, a brand new shop that just opened a week or two ago in Pennsylvania, in Oley, O-L-E-Y, Pennsylvania. That is All Things Useful, and that's E-W-E-S-F-U-L. So All Things Useful, and I guess they had a wonderful opening. Our product sold out in like a day, so that's really exciting. So we have a huge order to fill with them once things kind of slow down. We'll also be doing a custom colorway for them in their shop, so we're really excited about that. So if you have a local yarn store and you're like, hey, we want some leading men fiber arts at our local yarn store, you should definitely tell your LYS owner to get in contact with us. If you go to our website, up at the top there is a tab for wholesale orders, which links to our email to get wholesale information, and in fact there is a link as well to a wholesale order form, so you can just directly place an order form, an order through the website. So hopefully that makes things a little more streamlined and a little easier. So those are some new stores holding our products, so that's really exciting. Alright, I have a lot to show you that we've updated this week. The shop is completely full. I did an update yesterday with a few specialty items, some new gradients and whatnot, and they sold like that, which is great, but that means I have less to take to Vogue. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have updated them, but whether they sell today or they sell this weekend is good, right? Right. That's what Andy tells me. He's got a good business sense, so. By the way, Andy starts his new-ish position at his job next week, next Monday, so he'll be working 6 to 3 Monday through Friday, so he'll now have weekends off and all that stuff, so he'll be at all the shows with me, and we'll have more time off together, which is good. Right? Right. Yeah. So, that's exciting. He just found that out yesterday, so. Alright, I got doggies behind me. And I need to move back because I've got a full tub of stuff to show you. So, let me take off the lid. Put that over there. Alright. Let's just start. On Show Stealer, which is our fingering weight MCN, we have Apocalypse. We put some of that up. On Soliloquy, which is 100% Superwash BFL, 657 yards. We have Blue Ink. This is a newer blue that we did right before Stitches. So it's a new colorway. I had it as a gradient in the shop prior, but also on Soliloquy we have a skein of Auburn. On Showcase, which is 100% Superwash Merino, fingering weight verging to the light fingering weight, we have Drama Queen. On Show Stealer, we have Country Road. See, I want to bring it closer, but if I do, I'm going to get caught in the sunbeams coming through, so. On Showstopper, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 463 yards of fingering weight, we've got Watchman. Show Stealer, I did some Halloween colors, and a couple of them are already sold, but it's fine. We've got Boo. This is that electric green, electric orange, and black streak through it. This is a variegated, of course. We don't do self-stripings. I've had a couple questions lately about that. Dramaturg, which is our 100% superwash merino plied DK weight, because we have Playbill, which is a single ply. This is Fright Night. This has some purple and some light gray, as well as the green and orange and black. Dramaturg as well. We have some Kaleidoscope. This was last month's colorway of the month. We are not going to have a colorway of the month for October, simply because we're going to be vending at Vogue the first weekend of the month, and we won't have the shop open to be able to do custom orders. Not to mention, we haven't had the time to come up with a new one. Soliloquy, we have Shot in the Dark. It's only one of those. Show Stealer, we have some Darkest Hour. Show Stealer, we have some Metamorphosis. Showstopper, Ain't My First Rodeo. This looks kind of grayish, but it's really like a browns and blues overwashed. Show Stealer, Breaking Ground. It's a lighter brown. Lots of Show Stealer this week. We have some Into the Woods on Show Stealer. Mornings in the Backyard. Showstopper, we have some Dreamweaver. Show Stealer, Man of Mystery. Let's Hear It for the Girls. Showstopper, Tequila Sunrise. Dramaturg, Sandcastle. I think there's one of these. Dames at Sea, which is a dark navy blue. Dramaturg, one of those I believe as well. Soliloquy, I think there's 3 Poison Apple. And that's truer to color. Showstopper, we have some Haunted Wood. Dramaturg, we have some Lucky Charm. Showstopper, Alien Attack. Show Stealer, You Never Know. Show Stealer, Copper Cloud. That's what I'm doing my polyphony out of right now, the lacy section. Show Stealer, we have some Ain't My First Rodeo on that as well. Showstopper, Green Gables. Showstopper, Harvest. There you go, that's kind of truer. Show Stealer, Poison Apple. Again, that same red. We have some Kaleidoscope on Show Stealer as well. And you can see the randomness of this dye job. Love that dye technique. I'm going to be using it a lot more. Safety Dance on Show Stealer. This is rather bright. It glows. Masquerade on Show Stealer. And some Perfection on Show Stealer. Alright, we do have a couple new sock blanks in the shop that have not sold out yet. This first one is called Bite Off More Than You Can Chew. Again, I named these after idioms. So, bite off more than you can chew. And the other one is called Break a Leg. And you can see there, I have fun. It's the kind of graffiti-esque way of dyeing on here. I'll have fun with them. So there's that. There'll be a bunch more at Vogue, but I'm not updating them right away because they tend to go pretty quickly in the shop, and I need to have some for Vogue. So, I had a couple more yarn. I have Ain't My First Rodeo on Soliloquy, and I also have some Seaweed on Showstopper. And then I've got two fibers. I have a new fiber, which is Black Diamond Bamboo. This is 100% bamboo. It is feltable. It's 4 ounces, and it's that really dark silver black bamboo. Sorry, the glare is pulling it. I believe this is 16 for a 4-ounce braid, so definitely check that out. There's 4 ounces. I'm on back order for some right now, for some more, but there's 4 braids in the shop right now. This would be really great for buying another braid and then plying the two together, so you have, you know, a black ply going through it all. Plus, it would give a lot of drape, so if you're trying to spin for like a shawl or a scarf or something like that. I also have a new 4G. This is Glacial 4G on Superwash Merino. So you've got 4 1-ounce braids in this particular package. And they're kind of the colors they are the colors we use in Glacial. In fact, I even do the overwash on each braid that we do in Glacial. So it's a 4G because you can either spin each ply separately and then do a 4-ply, or you could do your own gradient or progressive, because it's not a true gradient, in which you spin one end to end and then Navajo ply them to get your own progressive or gradient. So that's everything that's been updated to the shop. I've got a huge mountain of yarn in front of me right now, which couldn't be any better, and I'm excited. So definitely, if you're in any of the areas we're going to be vending at, come check us out. Check out the shop at leadingmenfiberarts.bigcartel.com. The shop will be closing either Wednesday or Thursday and will not open again until Monday the 5th, as we're going to be gone at Vogue. So if you want it, get it now before we go to Vogue, because you don't know if it'll be there. What else? Like us on Facebook for Leading Men Fiber Arts. Come on over there. And the Ravelry group for Leading Men Fiber Arts and Dramatic Knits Video Podcast group. Come on and join the groups over there as well. You can also follow me on Instagram. That's the best place to keep on with updates and anything new. And I repost, you know, when stores are showing our yarns and things like that, or new patterns come out with our yarn. So I definitely would say follow us on Instagram, Leading Men Fiber Arts. We just broke 2,500 followers on Instagram, so I was super excited about that. But, you know, if you're not following us, why not? It takes one little click, right? So, all right. I hope you have a fantabulous 2 weeks. Yeah. So until then, I hope you knit something dramatic.